Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the Parquet Blanket. This is an exclusive pattern on Joann.com. In the link and the more information of this video, I'll direct you right to the written instructions if you want it. Today I'm going to show you the ins and outs of making this very simplistic pattern. So in today's pattern I'm going to show you how to make their squares. They're just double crochet and the yarn is doing all the work. So all the fancy stuff you see is actually the yarn, and it's Bernat Baby Bundle or Home Bundle. This yarn changes on its own and you will see it will do a really amazing look like this. Now I took this particular Afghan to a live show and it was extremely popular. It's got texture so people just want to touch it, and it was really exciting. So let's talk a little bit about these. And what happens is that you have these square panels that are made up of double crochet. So let's back out the camera here, and here is one square, and you just have to keep making squares in order to have it to work. So you can mix your Bernat Baby Bundle or your Home Bundle together because it's the same yardage on the yarn and it's the same type of yarn. So what happens with these is that you're going to make your squares just like you see here. This is the nice cream version. So the next square will then just be turned sideways and then attached using the same color of yarn in order to do it. So you just use a whip stitch in order to bring it together like so. So it's a really kind of a neat idea. Now in the instructions they provide to you, they provide you the not only the written instructions on how to do it, but they also show you how it goes together. So you can see how the layers are. So that's the rows. So that would be like this, and then the next one then will be turned on its side like this and continue to attach. So in this case, because this is all cream here, I would use this color yarn to be able to sew it here so it keeps consistency. So it's a really kind of a neat idea. So you see all cream here, so then I would use the all cream then to sew it then to the next one that would appear over here. Okay, so just like that, or you can use this color. It depends on how you want to attach it. So you're just gonna use a whip stitch. I'll show you how to do that as well, and let me show you how to get started. So to get started today you need an 8mm size L crochet hook today, and again the pattern is written in the more information of this video for the link so that you can get that. So put that onto your hook and you're going to chain a total of 22. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So now that you have your 22 on here, all you just have to do now is go 4 chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, turn it over and just make sure that you get 2 strands that left on top, 1 strand on the bottom, and I want you just to double crochet into that 4th chain. So just like that. Okay, so moving along down, make sure you get 2 strands on top and 1 on the bottom, and just double crochet yourself all across this chain. So just open it up and just go right into the spot, and you're just gonna double crochet like that, and it's just really quite easy. So you're gonna go back all the way across your line, and I'll see you at the end of your chain. Now if you haven't used thick yarn like this before, sometimes it takes a bit of getting used to, but once you get used to using it for a bit, it gets easier. So that's it, because when you pull this tight, there's no more stitches left. So to move up a row, it's the same in every row going forward, and this yarn changes on its own, so you don't have to worry about changing the colors of yarn. And you're just gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as this first double crochet that you see in the row below. So you move to the next one and just double crochet yourself now all the way across. These panels do not take a lot of time because the yarn is so thick, and because the yarn the hook is so big, is that these panels really only take a few minutes in order to make. I think maybe about 10 to 12 or 15 minutes. Not a big deal. So you're just gonna move along. So every time you get to the end, you're just gonna turn up your work, chain up 3, and then double crochet yourself back across. So the goal for you is to double crochet enough rows so that you can get 10 inches tall. So you keep going right from, so measure from here right up to the top for being 10 inches, and then you fasten off. So what I would recommend when you fasten off, just take a few extra lengths of yarn and then use that to be able to sew it to your neighbor. So in just a few moments here off camera, the yarn is changing on me, so it's changing now to boucle. And so you can see the transition is pretty abrupt, and there is no strands tied. It's not tied, it's twined together in a professional format, and then you just go right to the end like so. So and again, to turn you move up 1 more row, and now you chain up 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then continue to move across. So this chain here counts as the first double crochet, so you come into the next one and just double crochet yourself across. So what I'll do is that I'll leave that with you. So you have to get to 10 inches tall, and then once you get to your 10 inches in the height, then you fasten off. And then what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna show you how to whip stitch these together, just to make sure that you understand that, because I do have videos on that as well, but you may not want to go look for that, and I'll show you how to do that process, and it's pretty mindless really. So just double crochet yourself back and forth across, and once you get into the swing of this, you can really speed up and get these done really quick. Again, this afghan was extremely popular when I took it to a live show, and because of that I thought, you know, we have to have a tutorial on that because it's that easy to make, and yet it's that fabulous to look at as well. So let's show you how to put your squares together once you get your 10 inches in height done, and then I'll go from there. So when you get to your 10 inches tall, you're just gonna fasten off, and you got some choices now. And what I recommend is that here with the cream color, I left on an extra long tail, and then I can use this tail now to sew this up to its neighbor. So if this was the square over here, I could just put it together, and I could use this same strand and go all the way across. Now you just have to just make sure you kind of pull on it and just get it to shape to the right size. You know, because they've got different types of yarn. You got chunky, they've got the blanket, you got boucle, and you got pipsqueak. Sometimes it will look like it's out of alignment, but it's fine. So what you want to do is that I would recommend leaving an extra long tail. So let's just go back and put it like this. So I should have left an extra long tail then for this blue, but I didn't because I was doing some sample work. So what you can just do is grab the same color yarn and just tie a slip knot, or put a slip knot on one side. So what you can just do is take this yarn now, and you're gonna go onto the outside, go right into the stitches. There's stitches right across this layer here. There's only sides of rows here. So go across, so just pull it through, but don't pull it all the way through. You want to keep this slip knot here, and you want to go all the way through like this and leave that loop there, and then just go to the matching one on the other side like so. So just put it through and then come back. So just pull it through, but when you come back, I want you to put it through this loop, and then that will lock that strand permanently together. Okay, so just pull it nice and snug. And so all you're just gonna do now is move to the next stitch here, and then you just want to equally space on the rows. So this tail, just leave it down on top just like this, and you go to the next section here. So just have to eye it up just to make it look good. Come across and just move the strand up over top so it gets all this wonderful stuff trapped into position. So now coming back across, we'll put this yarn strand over, move to the next stitch, go straight across, and then line it up. So your goal is to keep an eye on where this edge is gonna be on this side. So if you all of a sudden start seeing it and it's looking like this, you know you're gonna be out of alignment. So you just come across, come down to the next stitch, and then jump across to the other project, and then come back like that. Okay, once you have these strands buried in long enough, you can just simply trim those out, and then you just continue to move along. So it's getting started is always kind of the pain, but once you get those tails buried in, you're good to go. So you just keep on moving across and keeping everything in alignment like so. So you want to use the same colored yarn that you're using to join. So I could have either used the white on this side, or I could have used the boucle on this side to go and do it. See, and the white is not the same kind of strand all the way through, so I'm choosing to use the yarn where this is more solid. It's the same yarn moving across. So what I'll do is I'll get to the end of the row here, and I'll show you how to be able to finish this off. So what I would do is probably sew as you go. It would just be a lot easier for you, because then you have this particular strand of yarns that you're working with. So when you're using this yarn, you may not always finish off with the boucle or this particular color, so you might want to consider sewing it as you go. So you can see the sewing process really does not take long when you go to do it. And I'm aligning it pretty easily without much thought. Like, look. So that's actually kind of neat. And that's kind of a fluke in some way, I have to tell you though. So I have to come across, and coming right to the end. Almost stabbed myself there. So this is a yarn strand, so I'm gonna lay that down on top and get that stuck underneath as well. So it's one last thing I have to worry about. So if you lay it down, this strand that I'm currently working with will go right up over top. So once you're into the outside like so, I'm gonna get rid of this yarn strand while I'm here. So once you're into the outside, this strand was a little bit too short for me. Okay, so what I want to do is that I want to make sure that I go in and out of the work 3 times. So I can just go into the same color of yarn. So 1, right? And then I come back in the other direction for 2. And this yarn is a little short for me. I should have left it a little bit longer. So 2, and then what I'll do is I'll go back in for a 3rd time. 3rd time's a charm. Your project can never stretch in 3 directions at one time, so this yarn strand will never fall out on you. So you then go in for a 3rd time. That's it. So now you can just simply trim your work. So that just kind of worked out. And so therefore you have a nice join here, and then every time you finish off a square, then you want to join it to your neighbor just like so, and the other side should look just as good. See, like that. So that's how you join your yarn, and this is the Parquet Blanket, and you'll see it will look really amazing if you have the colors playing off each other just like you do here. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd as well as Joanne.com. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.